Well, good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome to Monday night's edition of FSU Weather as we roll into the semester here. Sun's starting to go down a little earlier and earlier. Right now, 86 and sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Great night to go and get outdoors. 86 in Tallahassee, 80s for the most part around the rest of our area, and it's a great night to get outside. Can't stress this enough here. Low morning lows. We've been very high, very dry for the last couple of days here. We're going to be covering a lot here in the National coming up, and we've got a short show today, short cast list. It is me, myself, and I do not blame anybody after the week we had last week in dynamics. Lots of tests going on, so I apologize in advance. All of our brains are fried for any things I might mess up throughout this. That's just the way it's going to go tonight, but we will talk all about this and more on FSU Weather. All right, it's me. I'm back. Here are the cameras around the area. Again, not a cloud in the sky. I think this camera's just a little dirty here. I don't think those are clouds here, but it is a bright and sunny day out here. Looking at our radar, we don't have much to worry about. This is not anything that is going to stick. So again, great night to get outdoors and enjoy this clear night we're gonna have here. 80s again, for the most part, around most of our area. 81 is our low here, down closer to the coast in Apalachicola, and our dew points are very low, 46 here in Tallahassee for this time of year. We're starting to get into that point where we're going to need chapstick later on. Right now, we're not too bad. This is pretty solid. This is right where we want to be. Good for our hair, everything like that. Temperatures 83 for the most part, a little cooler in a lot of places. If not, you're sitting about the same as what the actual temperature is. And for tonight, we're going to get into the 50s, 57 here in Tallahassee. So it's a great night for layers if you have them. A good night to get out and stargaze if you are someone that enjoys that. This is one of those perfect temperatures where you're not too cool, but the skies are clear enough and you can get out and enjoy it. Future radar and clouds, nothing that we really have to worry about, just a couple of passing clouds for the next couple of days here. And in terms of the 12-hour forecast, we're going to dip down into the low 50s here. Lots of sunshine, clear night sky as we roll into the overnight, but great night to get outside. Really can't repeat this enough here. Florida, we do have just a little bit of a remnant of this a cold front down here, and we're going to kind of see that play out. It's kind of stalled out here. Just a couple of showers. This is a little further north of it, but nothing that's going to stick for too long here. Just for now, some pop-ups, that's relative. In Florida here, 80s for the most part, 82 down in Miami. Looks like that's the only place they're really experiencing those showers, but sunny here in the Panhandle again in the Sunshine State. Tonight, we're going to cool down into the 60s in most areas, 79, 70s a little bit further south as well. Back here in the Panhandle, clear night, great night to get outside. Future radar, you're going to see that cold front kind of stalled out along here, and then it's going to eventually dissipate, and then we'll just have those daily Florida thunderstorms that pop up. Tomorrow's forecast, we're going to warm up into the 80s, 87 here in Tallahassee. We had those fall-like temperatures, and now we're back to very warm 87 here. We're going to start to cool down a little bit sooner, but for now, we have a lot of 80s to contend with. I've missed those fall-like temperatures, but for now, we're going to take it to some places that do have some. So lots to talk about here in the National. I'm covering up some of it. I'm going to show you first off the coast of California. We've got a low spinning up there. Then in the Four Corners area, a lot of precipitation that they are not ready to contend with. A little bit of non-severe stuff in the Central Plains, and then we've got this nor'easter off the coast of the Atlantic here. We're going to zoom in on that first, so you can kind of see this low is circulating right around in here. Not a named system, not a tropical system here, but bringing lots of heavy rain, coastal flooding, rip current risks, high waves and bringing a lot of delays to the airport there. So this is going to last in the next couple of days here. Just make sure to keep up with alerts, warnings, especially if you are along the coast. But down here in the Four Corners area, you can kind of see a little bit. That is that flash flood warning we'll get to in a minute, but a lot of precipitation, mostly green, a little bit of yellow. There's been some severe thunderstorm warnings popping up every now and then. I don't think there is one right now, but we do see those flash flood warnings still popping up there. It looks like this one might be about to expire, or maybe it's a new one just popping up, but that's mostly what we've had to contend with over here as we've had a lot of rain in a short period of time. And we're going to zoom in, show you some of the counties that have had it. Phoenix is one of the most affected areas right now. They've got a lot of power outages as well. And yeah, Phoenix, and there was that storm over Tempe as well. Now we're going to go over to California here, where we see that low that's going to kind of be making its landfall, coming overland, but not really bringing much other than that coastal flooding risk and a lot of heavy rain. A little bit of a wintry mix up here in the mountains as well. Nothing that's too crazy, more higher elevation type stuff. But one thing to know about this low is that it could be bringing a couple of waterspouts potentially to land, but just make sure to stay alert if you're going to be going to the beach. And then current temperatures. Gonna take a breath here. Current temperatures, I'll let you look at this map. It is high and dry for the most part here in the southeast. 50s as you get a little bit further north, 35 up in Billings, and it's got that fall-like gradient that we tend to see this time of year as well. Dew points, this is also what we expect. Further out west, we're gonna see those drier dew points. 29 up in Billings, that is chapstick weather for sure. We are sitting pretty nice here in the southeast. This is exactly what I would like to see. Anywhere from 50 to 60 is where I would like to reside. And in terms of the drought monitor, it's going to kind of reflect that map. Now, it is not directly related, but out west does tend to be drier, and that's where we see a lot of those droughts, and the southeast, not so much. Here in Tallahassee, though, we have had a very dry stretch in the Panhandle. Like I said, that's where we're going to see a little bit of severe drought starting to creep in. Not quite to our county yet, but we do have a moderate drought in Leon County here. Again, Arizona, I always touch on that. They are in a complete state of drought. They have been every time I've done the national. North Dakota has usually been the only place that's really been spared here. But in terms of the future radar, you're going to kind of see that low make landfall on California, that monsoonal moisture kind of make its way out and dissipate, and then that nor'easter is going to kind of get pulled, ripped away from the coast, thankfully, and will be out of our hair soon. Tonight's temperatures, we are going to dip down into the 50s here in Tallahassee, 60s in a lot of other places. A little cooler up in places like Billings. That's exactly to be expected. Again, that fall-like spread across the U.S. And tomorrow it's going to do the same thing as it heats up as well. 87 here in Tallahassee, 70s as you get a little bit further north, 46 up in Billings, usually our coolest area, and the averages over the next couple of weeks, it's going to push in some cooler air off of the west coast and into the central plains here, and again, warm in the southeast, so it's still warm all the way on the east coast. We've been warmer than average here in Tallahassee. At least I'm welcoming those fall temperatures whenever they feel like showing up. Beach cam right now, 85, mostly sunny. This is at Shell Point Beach, so again, great place to get outside if you don't have any plans for the night. Dog walk forecast. I would say 11 a.m. is when I would shoot to go out, but you can adjust accordingly, whether you are warm-blooded, cold-blooded, whatever is the best for you, but beautiful temperatures all throughout the day. Airport delays, so we're going to be seeing no delays here in Tallahassee, but again, JFK is dealing with quite a bit of rain right now, so they're going to be experiencing those delays. It should get better over the next couple of days here. Pollen report, medium for grass and tree, and ragweed is low. That's pretty expected for this time of year. Tonight, we're going to see the stargazing forecast is really good, and one thing about that is the cooler the air is, the crisper the image of the sky kind of is, so you can see a lot more this time of year when it starts to cool down, but you obviously don't want to be freezing your butt off when you're stargazing. To look at the next couple of days, we're going to see mostly 80s, 50s for our lows, and that low dew point is going to contribute to the big difference between the highs and the lows. So that's why we're seeing quite a dip from day to night here. And as we look at what's next, Doak Campbell Stadium, 83 here in Tallahassee. That is, for the most part, what we've been seeing. I think that we are done with our show, but okay, we're gonna keep going. Temperatures around the rest of the area, I've already mentioned that, but can't hurt to look again. Radar and clouds, it is a good night to get outdoors. Go and do that. I don't know what there is going on tonight in Tallahassee. It's a Monday night. Tomorrow, there's good weather, I don't know, but no delays, again, in Tallahassee Airport, no delays. I'm going to keep talking about something. Dancing with the Stars is full-fledged now. I think tomorrow night there's something going on. That would be a good thing to go and do once the sun goes down and it gets cool. Something about the weather. 57 here in Tallahassee. We're going to, our graphics aren't even working at this point anymore. It's okay. Taylor Swift's new album, how about that, you guys? Oh, look at that rain. That's not rain, that's ground scatter. That's not really anything we have to worry about. That's the angle of the thing, the radar, that hits stuff as it's going up into the sky. But that's all that we really see on our radar. Okay, Sunny. Look at that dog. Isn't that dog cute? I like that dog. I don't know what its name is. Follow us on X at FSU Weather, thank God. And like us on Facebook at FSU Weather. And also make sure to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather and subscribe if you are watching right now on Facebook at FSU Weather and follow us on TikTok at FSU Weather, and we might see one last look at the week ahead. Or not.